In this vlog, I will be finishing the final revisions of my mystery novel. It will be done, completely done, done. And I'm going to use these novels to help me figure out how I want to structure the resolution of my novel. And I am also going to be following Margaret Atwood's writing schedule, partly because I seem to be more productive following other people's writing schedules than my own, but also because her writing schedule seems, very doable. So, by the end of this vlog, come hell or high water, I will have finished, completely finished, my mystery novel. Where there's a will, there's a way, and I have a will. I've been having this will for years now. And in this vlog, potentially not today, but in this vlog, I will finish it. On a typical writing day, Margaret Atwood usually starts working at 10 a.m. Margaret says, I get up in the morning, have breakfast, have coffee, and go upstairs to the room where I write. I sit down and probably start transcribing from what I had handwritten the day before. Alright, this day has been a long time coming. I don't know if you can see, I'm missing books for my book research. A few vlogs ago, when I first returned to this novel, I had discovered that I needed to, in removing one subplot and adding in a new subplot, I needed to add one entirely new scene, and then I needed to revise two very important scenes in the novel. Since that point, I have added the new scenes, I revised one of the scenes, and then one of the scenes is part of the resolution of the novel, and it needs to be reworked. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be researching other mystery novels to see how they set up their resolutions to their novels, to see if I can get some ideas for mine, because since I pulled that thread out of the resolution, I need to put something back in, and I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing now that my resolution has lost its structure. So, hopefully I'm going to be getting some ideas about how other novels structure their resolution. And then, the second thing I will be doing before this novel is completely done, I will be reading through the whole thing. Because when I was adding in the new subplot, I could tell that I was making some tonal changes in specific scenes. Because the other thing was, it wasn't just the two scenes that ended up needing to be revised, it was like everything everywhere. You know, it was bleeding everywhere, all over everything, which was fine because, you know, you want the goodness of the subplot to be, you know, touching all different parts of the story. So, you know, it is, but the scenes that it's touching have some tonal shifts that I'm going to need to be making consistentize. I don't know what the word is for that, but hopefully that won't be a super long process. I am determined to finish this novel in this vlog. This vlog is supposed to go up next Thursday. Today, I believe, is August 18th. It's a Friday. So I have less than 1 week to finish this vlog. I think I can do it. I hope so. Wish me luck. Also, Margaret Atwood has two desks. One has a computer that's connected to the internet, and one has a computer that's not connected to the internet. I obviously do not have that set up, but during the times when I'm working on my novel, because I have no reason to be accessing the internet, I'm going to turn off my Wi-Fi. Obviously, I'm the one in control of turning it off and on, so hopefully I can maintain control over my fingers and not turn it back on when I get distracted. That's my goal. Taking notes on the resolutions for all of these books. I also took notes on the resolution for The Two Princes of Bamar, even though this is a fantasy and I'm writing a mystery, but I love this book, and I recently read it, so I took notes on its resolution too. So I actually did I don't know, it spurred some thoughts. I'm still not sure how to structure my resolution. These thoughts are going to need to percolate a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is perhaps in the document, I guess in the document, I'm just going to brainstorm, I think, or maybe like try out a few ideas to see if I can almost like fill in the gaps of the subplot that I pulled out with the essence of the subplot that I have put in. It has changed the structure of the resolution, which is why I'm doing all this, but then once that's done, then all I have to do is tonal consistency throughout the novel. So I'm hoping to get this done today/tonight, and then I can spend the rest of the time before I have to post this vlog working on tonal consistency, because I have to read the whole book and I feel like that might take a little bit. So hopefully I can get this resolution thing ironed out today. So that's my current plan. Alright, so some thoughts, some playing is happening. I'm not like loving anything yet, and I think I'm feeling pressure because this is like obviously the very end of the book, the resolution. So I think I'm gonna let my thoughts percolate while I take a walk. Margaret Atwood always takes a walk. Nice long one. Margaret likes to keep an eye on how many steps she gets in a day. She aims for 10,000 steps each day, mainly by not driving and walking to the shops with her wheelie cart. That sounds very idyllic and European, but I do not have either a wheelie cart or shops that I go to on foot. So I will try to take a nice long walk though. So I looked it up, and apparently it takes you approximately 1 hour and 40 minutes to walk 10,000 steps. But I mean, obviously I'm going to be walking a little bit, you know, in my house when I'm like going to the kitchen and stuff, so I'm going to take a walk. It's approximately 1 hour, which is what I like my walks to be. If it stretches on longer than an hour, I get tired. So I'll be walking, no wheelie cart, but I'll be still getting my steps in. Margaret likes to wrap up her work with dinner. Then she says she might watch a really soothing kind of murder mystery.
That's good mystery weather. It's dark in here, and hear me because the crickets and cicadas are singing their summertime song. I'm definitely going to be working on this still tomorrow. I'm not yet ready for the consistency reread. I'm having a hard time, like, committing to the scene. Today was very productive, and I have had, like, what seems like a very good idea for this resolution scene, but I've just been playing with the idea at the bottom of the document rather than, like, actually implementing it into the scene. And I think I'm just being straight up motivated by fear. I'm like afraid to change the scene, even though, I mean, There is no risk at all. The scene exists in its pristine, untouched condition in a different document, so there's no way I can mess it up, but my writing confidence has taken a few hits recently, and I'm struggling. I'm feeling afraid to, like, take the ideas I worked through at the bottom of the page and commit to putting them in. So, I'm hoping a good night's sleep helps. Heal Me Dove Body Wash. Also, I definitely paid for this, so I don't know what this is. Well, today has been a day unrelated to writing, but I've had a bit of a late start now on my writing. It's like 4:30 in the afternoon. And I feel like, I'll feel better if I can at least get like a rough draft version of the finished new resolution. I've made some good progress. So I think I'm going to keep going until I have what is, at least for now, a complete version of the resolution, and then I'm going to have to read it, maybe tomorrow or some future day when hopefully I have a little bit more endorphins. So I've had a rough day, but I want to make progress on this, so I'm going to write until I feel like I at least have, a complete draft of my new resolution. And then I'll check on it later. So last night I was able to create a new resolution. I was able to implement my ideas into the scene itself. So now I have a new scene. I left all my notes at the bottom of the document because I feel like there's going to be one or two more things that I want to add to the scene. But, it's a complete scene. I'm not as in love with it as I was with the original resolution, so it's not like done yet, but I'm letting it rest while I go back and read through for tonal consistencies. So that is my plan for today. I'm going to read through as much of the document as I can, checking for tonal consistency. Usually when I do drafts like this, I go into the draft with one goal. So I'll go into the draft and be like, in this draft, I am looking at, the villain's backstory. And I read the draft purely with the villain's backstory in mind. So for this draft, I'm reading it purely for tonal consistency. Does that make sense? So I'm not reading for everything all at once. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to read the story, hopefully smooth out the tonal inconsistencies, and then when I get to the resolution, I will be reading it now with fresher eyes after having read the rest of the document, and hopefully I will both have ideas on how to implement the one or two things that I think it still needs, and I will like it. Because right now I feel only kind of meh about it. But it exists, so that's step one. Now we're on to step two. Alright, so reading takes a long time, but it's going fine. I just want to keep blazing ahead though because it's a lot. So I think I might skip my walk today. Would Margaret Atwood skip her walk? She tries to get 10,000 steps every day, but that's surely just a guideline, right? Also, if I can
rationalize it. A heat wave has come upon us, and so now it's like 95 degrees with the blazing sun. So I think I'll skip the walk and just keep reading. Would that be Margaret Atwood approved? I hope so. Alright, so far so good. I've been able to skim a lot because I know which scenes were impacted by the subplot change. And I've been able to do a little bit of smoothing. I haven't reached the part yet where I remember several scenes in a row had tonal inconsistencies, so I'm hoping that goes smoothly as well, but shall see. I'm just going to keep working on it. I think I'm going to make a chocolate croissant for a snack.
Just got done a little 30-minute editing sprint as I started editing chapter 18. Hopefully I will finish working on chapter 18 tomorrow. I'm feeling really good about this. I'm also very tired, so I'm going to go shower and get ready for bed.
Alright, so I like to listen to writing vlogs while I'm writing because it makes me feel like I'm in a little writing group or something. Sarah Lubratt and Shaelin Bishop are my favorite writing vlogs to listen to. I've listened to so many of their vlogs that their voice, like when I hear their voice playing, it makes me want to write, which is good. So it's currently about 3:30 in the afternoon. I have made good progress. I reached one of the scenes that I remembered needing tonal consistency overall, and I smoothed it out, and I think it's okay. I'm going to check on it again, like I'm going to reread it again in a few hours just to make sure it still seems good, but I think I fixed it. I mean, I think it's smoothed out now. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of slow going. I'm just going to keep plugging away. I don't know. I've been kind of down. I've been having some down days, so it's kind of hard to tell how I really feel about this writing. Like, do I like it? Is it any good? I don't know. I'm hoping once I finish in a few days when I'm feeling better and I read through it again, I'll still like it. But that's where we are right now. Last night I was able to finish the consistency read, and it went well. I mean, it was a lot, and I'm starting to get tired, and I don't want to burn myself out, so the resolution that I have written, I like, and it fits, which is nice. The scenes that needed tonal consistency, smoothing, got smoothed. I can tell there's like one, possibly two threads missing, both in the resolution and perhaps like in the whole subplot that I've added. The problem is I don't know what those threads are. So I'm gonna tinker today with the scenes and see if I can kind of develop the missing thread. But if I can't, it's okay, and I can just put this story away and let it rest in peace. Because it's done again. It feels finished, which is good. And then I'll be able to return my full focus to my young adult fantasy. And I had been struggling to do that when I felt like this story was constantly nagging at me to be finished. And it feels finished now, which is good. The little, like, je ne sais quoi that is missing is still missing. And so I'm going to tinker today. If I can't find it, I'm just going to let it rest in peace in my cemetery of dead novels, and then in the future, whenever that thread, comes to me, appears in my mind, I will be able to go back in and add it, obviously. But it doesn't feel like it's nagging at me to be finished anymore, which feels really good, and I don't want to burn myself out, so I'm not going to just stress over this missing thread. I'm going to tinker today, and then let it rest, and it will all be good. Alright, I'm feeling really good. I added one new thread, and then I got, like, a thought for a new thread that I'm gonna add now. I need to end this vlog because this vlog has been devolving. The schedule of Margaret Atwood has been falling apart. But the book is finished and I feel at peace with it, and I feel very, very good about that. The resolution feels good, tonal consistency, the new threads, the new subplot, it's all working and I'm pleased. And I've been getting actually a couple of good ideas for my magic mystery, my young adult fantasy that I'm going to return to, which is very exciting because it feels like that means it's time to get back to it and that this novel is good and done, no longer nagging me.
feel like this is anticlimactic. Yeah, I mean, I finished the novel. It would be more climactic if I hadn't already submitted this novel everywhere on the planet. But seeing as I have, now the novel is done and it can rest in peace. And I'm glad about it.
Alright, last night I tried to close this vlog out. I couldn't do it. It felt so false. Because I said I'm gonna add another thread to the story, but I hadn't added it. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. That felt so fake. I couldn't do it. I couldn't close the vlog out that way. So, last night, I stayed up really late and I finished the novel. I plumped up the new scene, plumped up the resolution, I added that new thread in, and it felt so good and, like, fulfilling. And when I was done writing last night, I literally felt like, like the novel was completely done. So, peace be with you, mystery novel. Your story has officially come to a close. And I feel really, really good about it. And now that story can just rest in peace. It is like done. Done, done, done. All the threads are added. The subplots have been fixed. The resolution feels good. I actually really like it. So this is a much better way to close out this vlog. And I wanted to tell you the word count difference between the two versions. So before I started this subplot fix-it endeavor, the novel had been 79,700 words. After my revision, it is now 80,104 words, which is an increase of 404 words. Which I actually feel really good about because the subplot that I removed touched far fewer scenes in the novel, and the subplot I added touches a lot more scenes in the novel, and I only added 404 words net. So all in all, excellent, excellent revision. And I'm so glad I finished it last night so that this vlog and the novel can both be complete and finished at the same time. I hope you are as pleased with this as I am. Thank you for spending all this time with me. Also, today is Wednesday, August 23rd. I finished the novel last night, after midnight technically this morning, Tuesday, August 22nd. And this video is still gonna go up tomorrow, Thursday, August 24th. I made it.